Welcome everybody to this week's edition of Hassel's Review. And this week we're going to tackle none other than Super 7's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line. Those heroes on a half shell. So, when this line initially dropped a couple years back, I was balls deep in the Thundercats line. I mean, I was buying every wave, every figure. So, when the Ninja Turtles were around about it, may have actually been just a little sooner, but the Thundercats were announced. So I didn't go in for them. And initially you just got some turtle renders, and they just kind of really looked like a really expensive version of the OG. So, like a knucklehead, I didn't go in for them. So, and you know how it is when you wait to go in for something and then decide later you want to go back. It's expensive as hell. So, I just never did. I continued on the path of the Thundercats, then moved on to Silverhawks. Got a few of the Joes, but along the way, my boy Monster, God bless you, he got me hooked up. He hit me up one day. There's a good vintage toy store up in Ohio where he lives that I believe it's Mike's Vintage Toys, if I'm not mistaken. And he said, "Hey, Hassel, got a metalhead up here. I know you're a fan of the metalhead. Would you want him? He's pretty good, reasonable price. I think it was like 30 bones." And I was like, you know what? That was one of my favorite figures as a kid. Sure, why not? So he sent me the metalhead, and I think I've showed him to you guys before. And when I got him in the mail and got to checking him out and looking over, such a cool figure. And that was when I realized that Super 7 really knocked these out of the park with these right here. Because what they did is they kept the purity of what the initial, Playmate figure was. And they upgraded to the point to where you have, it's a more detailed version while staying true to the original. And at the same time, you have articulation, something that the original OG Heroes on a Half Shell, while they had some articulation more than what some figures had in the 80s, these, they moved on and they really, really done a great job. Plus, Super 7 does really cool at, all kind of accessories. Like, Metalhead has his backpack. He's got multiple hands you can put on. There's a hand with a little whip that comes out. I mean, some really, really cool and neat stuff while sticking true to stuff like the light, the eyes light up. So at that point, I was like, you know what? If I can get a handful of them at a reasonable price, I'll pick up some here and there. And at the time, I truly intended to only do the villains, just because the villains looked so much better, I thought at the time, than the turtles. Thought the turtles were kind of bland. So I went in for Slash. Slash was the other that I went in for, because this was just one of my favorite figures growing up. He's so cool. And this one here, he is a beast. I mean, it just doesn't do justice, the scale of this figure. Yeah, I paid full price for this one, but you know what? He's very, very much worth the 56 bones that you had to pay to get him. So I figured, moving forward, if I could come across a Baxter Stockman. I was really looking forward to Rat King, so I was super let down when I seen that abortion of a head that they put on him. I'm really hoping they rectify that and fix that. Because, I've seen where they pulled the pre-order and put Sarai on there, Shredder's daughter, which really didn't make a lot of sense to me because she was not in the OG line. But hey, who am I to pick things apart? She was going to be a part of the wave either way. If you've seen the promo pictures, she was there. They just didn't announce her pre-sale until they yanked Rat King, and then all of a sudden, she was there. So, about a few weeks back, I was scrolling one of the various social media sites that I go to, and then, like everybody, we get these fucking ads. Half the time we ignore them, we keep scrolling. But Entertainment Earth will occasionally pop up, and I'm not a big Entertainment Earther because I've just never done business with them. I had no problems against them at the time. I'd never done business with them. I was a Big Bad Toy Store loyalist. I would buy some things from addictcollector.com and, other places. So I just never done business with them. So I'm scrolling, And then there, lo and behold, is your boy Raphael. And he's only like 22 bones. $22. And I said, shit, I can't really pass that up. So I ordered him. Shipping and handling was reasonable. Shipping and handling all, I think I got $30 in him, which is a steal. So, and I won't totally shit on Entertainment Earth because that was a great deal. The only flaw I seen in their process, it takes forever to get your shit. It took a little over a week for my order to be processed. I mean, they charged me right away. Don't get me wrong. They charged right away, but for the order to be processed and shipping label created and get it out the door, it's a little over a week. And then you had about another week worth of shipping. So if you're not in a hurry, a lot of times Entertainment Earth is cheaper than Big Bad Toy Store. So, that is an option there. If you're not in a hurry, I tend to like my shit fast, and I like the pile of loot option at Big Bad Toy Store. But either way, I will give Entertainment Earth big props beyond the slow shipping aspect of it. Because when it got here, like $1 million, it was very well protected inside the box, which is kind of hard to bang these up anyways, I will say, because they come in a cardboard inside a cardboard with bubble wrap, so it's kind of hard to maul that up. But I will say, as of late, Big Bad Toy Store, it's kind of let me down a few times. Like I ordered some WWE Elites, and their faces, they've done this the whole way in shipping, and they were scuffed up pretty damn bad. And those are ones I keep on the wall in the bubbles, so it was a bit of a letdown. But moving on, back to Raphael. So I was like, hey, you know what? $22. Let's give him a chance. And surely if they got him on sale for $22, eventually the other three will be there, and then I can complete the set. And then I may decide to, move beyond it. I have seen Splinter. I wasn't very impressed with Splinter or Shredder when it comes to just the look, because they stayed a little too true to the actual Playmate figure on for Shredder. For me, I don't like shirtless Shredder. I want cartoon Shredder, but I want him in that style. Yeah, I want my cake and eat it too. Preferably German chocolate cake. But hey, who's the fuss? So I got Raphael. I mean, he's cool but rude. You know what I'm saying? We love the Ninja Turtles here. That was one of my favorite lines growing up as a child. Probably from around 88 to 91, I was just mesmerized by the Ninja Turtles. My mom, God bless her, she was a single mother, and she done what she could do to make sure I had as many of the turtles as possible. And like most kids in our friends group, what we didn't have, we traded and bartered for. So between comics, cards, or other, I was kind of slowly getting out of the Transformers at the time, or He-Man. So you done some trading here or there. I was still real big into Joe's then, so I didn't get rid of a lot of that. But either way, I want to show a lot of pictures for Raphael, and yes, I do. I am using some stock photos from Super 7's website. Shout out to you guys. Just because their photography skills are far better than mine. My photography skills suck, people. I try. I'll have a few of mine, but you'll see the difference. So, you pulled him out of the box, and I initially pulled the sleeve off. And he looks great inside of there. If you're one of those people that love MOC, they do look really great still in the box MOC. I cracked him open because the Super 7s, I found that even though you open them, they just hold their value very well as far as resale if you were to sell it. And I don't resell shit. I sold some figures when my daughter graduated just because I really wanted to send her on a nice trip for graduation. And I regretted the hell out of it. Even though I got a very good price, it was done fairly, I regret it now. Sorry, kid. Love you. So I don't resell, but it's nice to know if my loved ones go to sell this shit when I croak, they'll be treated fairly. So, I open them, pull them out. And when you open him and pull him out, he has a shit ton of accessories. He's got multiple hands. He has the communicator open and closed. He has Two sets of size, which I wasn't quite sure about, other than the fact that one set is a little more metallic than the other. So I guess if you want shiny Si, I don't know. I stuck with the ones that he had in the holsters themselves just because they looked really cool to me. Yeah, he has and it's pretty cool. They do have the brown snapped together weapon set. Like when you were a kid, that was the first thing you had to do was pull the weapon set out and snap it apart like a model kit. So it comes with one of those for the nostalgia factor of that. But all in all, he looks really, really cool. They look a lot better in person than what I thought there was. He has two heads. I stuck with this head here, and it took me a few minutes to kind of notice what the difference in the two heads were. The major difference is this right here. This is the cartoon accurate, very short ties, to where the other is more of a comic, longer ties. And they're not ridiculously long. They're just a little longer. Great detail on the shell. It looks really, really good. He has great posability. The only flaw, well, two flaws, I have found is when you change the hands out, the peg that snaps into the wrist is extremely small. So once you take those initial hands out that were kind of stuck in there because of, being in there straight from the factory, it seems they come in and out a little too easy. I don't, they pop on and off real easy. So you got to be super careful when moving or posing their wrist so that you don't, that. And the other flaw on this one right here is the armband right here. Like on this one, it's perfect. It moves like it's supposed to, or you can move the elbow joint. This one right here, it's somehow or another back here on this side, it's stuck. Like it's almost like it heated up over time, and it somehow or another got stuck to the elbow. So when you move it, it's pulling. And I tried to like gently take my knife and just kind of nick at it a little bit, but I was scared because it's such a fine, soft plastic that I was scared I was going to slice the elbow pad off. So I just kind of decided to leave it as is. So that kind of hinders the posability for him, to where I wanted to kind of get him in a good ninja stance, so to speak, and leave the size in because they look really cool there and they don't hinder anything. So that was kind of the main flaw that I found when it comes to this figure here. Sticking them next to one another, because now that I have multiple of the Super 7, that's one of the cool things is I don't create dioramas because I'm just not skilled enough to do so, but I do put my action figures together. And as you can see, I move things around a lot. I had the Silverhawks behind me because I was super into them for a few days, and now they've found their way to a shelf over there. So these guys will probably be on the desk that I stare at as I do the podcast with Monster on the Dirty Man Room show each week, because all that's this way. So I'll probably have them line up here. So when you put them together in scale, they done a great job of, the old school Playmates line, everybody was the same size. They done a great job on this. Slash towers over Raphael, and he should. And that's really, really cool. I kind of wish I had a Bebop and Rocksteady now, because I'm just thinking that they're going to probably look a lot better than I thought they were. However, but Slash looks really good there. Metalhead, he's got a little bit of size difference above Raph, but it's nothing drastically, and he should be a hair bigger, but not. So I'm kind of curious to the other turtles. Is there any height difference in them? Which will be cool because in the old OG show they were all the same size, but then in the various movies or whatever, Leonardo might have been a little taller sometimes, and the just very subtle differences, so to speak. But either way, it's a very cool line. I'm going to wind up going back and spending more on this shit than I should. And I shouldn't, because like I said, I have Silverhawks right now that we're pretty deep into. G.I. Joe Classified line is kicking my ass left and right, and I'm happy to let it kick my ass. Marvel Legends, so forth and so on. And while we're on that just glossing subject, kudos to Hasbro for finally admitting defeat and going back to window packaging. Thank you I'm tired of fucking only buying one and having to open it. I do like to have one that I can display on the wall. And then if I, there are figures that I would have bought that I didn't because I went into those packaging, just because some figures I don't want to take out of the box. I just need them for the collection. They look cool next to the others. And some figures I really want the loose and the boxed. So since when did those packaging come about, everything that I bought has been opened. So thank you for that. Cool, but listening to the fans a little bit, and I know you're bullshitting us with the, it's a safer plastic. We don't give a fuck. As long as it looks good. You're going up on the price one way or another, and you are at the end of this year, so before that even happens. So either way, we're going to pay it and bitch and moan in our community. So with that being said, that concludes the Ninja Turtle portion of this episode. We're going to turn things over to Big Rob's House of Entertainment and No Chinese Food a little later on the Roku channel. But right here on the YouTube channel, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Zone Collectibles. Go see the Clady Clan at 305 Main Street, Tifton, Georgia. Anything you want collectible wise, hell, they got these guys here. They can get them if they don't got them. They will hook you up with any and everything there is. As you may see, got some Strange Films swag on today. Holler at our boy August Aguilar, Strange Films. He's got a new movie coming out called The Gift with Miss Ginger Lynn. And I'm sure all you guys know Miss Ginger because, hey, we've, she was in The Devil's Reject, but that's probably not where we usually know her from, even though I am a horror fan and know her from there. You know her from other places as well. So, with that being said, thank you guys for turning in to Hassel's Review. And, well, we will leave you with the heroes on the half shell.